Hi and welcome to Alignment April. I'm Elena from Reclaim Your Body Guide, and each day in April I'm going to post a video with a tip or an exercise that can help you to feel better immediately. Today we're going to talk about forward head posture and a few examples where you can apply the exercise that we call the head ramping. The head ramping is the motion where we take our head from being forward in front of our bodies, like so, to its rightful place on top of our shoulders. We do that by combining two motions in one. So we do translate the head back by elongating the neck here, and we also rotate the head down around an imaginary axis that goes through your ears, but until our chin angles down, so it's slightly tucked, and the top of the head is trying to reach the sky or the ceiling. So I'm going to demonstrate the move again. You are going to do this move to a point where you feel comfortable. If your neck is very stiff, and if you have been having that forward head posture for a long time, like years, or if you spend a lot of time in front of a computer screen or a phone screen or a book, you may find that those muscles here are too stiff to be able to lengthen and elongate enough so that your head is fully on top of your shoulders, but you certainly are going to feel some change by doing this. Now let's have a look at what you can make out of this information, because alignment has a lot more to do with movement than with some kind of static positioning of the body. Yes, you can sit in front of your screen, in front of your computer, and ramp up the head every now and then, but let's look at some examples that are more dynamic. For example, you are heading out and you take your backpack, put it on your shoulder, head out the door. Let's say you're in a hurry, or your backpack is heavy, or you have a shopping trolley or a little child or anything else that requires a little more effort, whether this effort is physical or psychological or emotional. A lot of us tend to lead their way with their head, which means that when you walk, your head is somewhat in front of you. This is not good for your neck because it places a lot of load on your cervical vertebrae. It's not good for your jaw because it also displaces the way the temporomandibular joint works. But it's also really not good for your core and for your leg muscles, because when your head is in front of you, you're putting more weight in front of you, which accelerates your body, and instead of walking using the muscles of your legs and your core to support you and translate you through space, you use a lot more momentum and you prevent your body from falling with each step instead. So this is something you can become aware of, and especially when you move with some degree of difficulty, try to be aware and ramp up your head and walk with your head more balanced on your shoulders. Another example we can apply this to is when we are sitting and looking at our screens, and let's say an email arrives that requires more focus. We tend to bring our head forward in order to be able to better focus and to better see. So this is not a good thing, because especially when you work, you tend to really get into your head. So that's metaphorical but also literal. And the strain and the stress that you put on these muscles is extreme. That being said, you cannot avoid taking your head forward if you are relaxed in your chair and if your pelvis is tucked under and if you use the backrest. So if your body is kind of laying back, the only way you can look forward is to actually take your head forward like so. So try to have an upright, aligned body with a neutral pelvis and neutral the rest of the spine. when you work as much as possible. This doesn't mean that you should never rest on your backrest. It just means that you have to be mindful of how you choose to spend your time. So I would very much like you to try this head ramping exercise and to start becoming more aware of what you do on a daily basis when you move, and especially when you struggle or when you do something that requires a certain degree of effort, and try to get yourself and to bring your head where it belongs, on top of the shoulders, and let me know how you go.